All right, so y'all might have seen, the picture a few years ago from Chicago United Center with No ID, Jay-Z, and myself. And I think that in itself was one of the pivotal moments in both of our lives, as far as being a manifestation of both of our spiritual growths, our psychological growths, our emotional growths. And I think also it was a pivotal moment in hip hop. After that picture, they say, yo, Jazz, I appreciate what you did for the culture and did for the culture. And I'm like, y'all never said that before the picture. But I understand. I'm not saying it to say, anything negative about the people who said that to me. But it's just that it was heartwarming, and it's heartwarming every time I hear it, not because of my so-called contributions, but more so because the situation didn't end up like what we talked about earlier, Pac and Big, or Big L, or Nips, or any of those situations. We can't be as fortunate all the time, but the times that we can, we should be thankful for it and understand that there are other things involved in it. But it was emotional, and it was I was happy, and I'm happy about it, more so for all of us than for him or for myself. I'm more happy for all of us behind that. And the crazy part of this whole meeting with going to the United Center and, dropping in on Jay was the fact that we hadn't spoken in over 15 years or seen each other. So many thoughts were running through my head, but I kept what I feel are the proper intentions, because I already knew that if he was willing for me, if he was willing to have me come see him, that it was already a positive. I think he and I in some ways think alike, whereas it's like, well, I just want to see him. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna say to him. And that's just basically what happened. Like, we were talking, after a while we was just talking like it's been like a month or 2 months, like, yeah, so what you been up to, shit like that. But one thing he did do when he's like, Jazz, and I was like, what up? Gave each other a pound, handshake and a hug. We sat there, and he looked me in my eyes, and he just went like this. And to me, that said everything. I ain't have to hear no long spiel about the why and the how and all that shit. That said everything to me. And what was so funny was that in all my thoughts and all of my reflection on my way to the United Center, like, he embodied just where it was at. Like, basically put into words, like, it's all love, like, we ain't even gonna go into none of that. Let's go from, this is point one right here. And that was love. That was good for me. Once Emery took that picture, and I don't know if it was I'm sure it was reposted by so many people, my battery went dead. And I always come outside with my battery fully charged on my phone. My shit went dead because all the alerts, every alert I got on my phone was going off constantly. My battery went dead in like less than 5 minutes. What I would tell, like, a lot of these rap artists, feuding, young and old, it's good. The competitive part, is all cool and everything, but when it comes to, like, your side people, security, whoever holds you down or whatever, getting too involved, and and then the violence sets in. Like, y'all gotta let that shit go, man. Yo, let's get money. Why somebody gotta die? Why somebody's mother gotta be crying and traumatized, and kids left behind without a parent? Because of your ego. Egos to me is a tool. It's like a gun. Or I would say more appropriately, it's more like a I'm gonna go old school. It's more like a match. You know what I'm saying? Like, because what they would say, of course, back in the days, like you could take a match, light the match, and put wood in a wood stove or wood oven and light it up and warm the house and cook the food. Or you could take that same match, light it, and get some kerosene, throw it on the floor and burn the house down. That's what ego is to me. I think you should utilize your ego to further yourself and further other things along in a positive manner, not just out of fear. And to me, there are a lot of examples of cowardice when, you know, oh, you can't say that to me, woo, 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 I'm gonna have his people lined up and this, that, and the other. That's cowardice. If you a man, like, you know, and I'm not saying that everybody that got beef with somebody is a punk or whatever, but I'm saying that those actions are actions of a coward. You know, if you got a problem with somebody, go talk to that person. You'd be surprised what's in their head. You know, you might be able to resolve it without everybody else getting involved and, you know, other egos getting involved and saving face and like, oh, you gonna let that nigga talk to you like that, son? You know, all that bullshit. Leave that shit alone, man. We got families, you know, we got people who love us, and we have opportunity to make goo gobs of money. Yeah, that's my word. Goo gobs of motherfucking breadsticks. So why fuck around? Why waste time? You know, I'm gonna take one from Jay. And we talked about this a long time ago. He said, ain't it funny how like you in a club, nigga cross the room or whatever it is, you know, he ice grilling you or what have you. And you can interpret it all kind of different ways. What he told me about an example one time, you know, this nigga ice grilling him and everything. And he just walked across there to the dude and he was like, what's up? And you know what the dude did? He was like, yo, what's up, man? Yo, I love your shit, son. You know what I'm saying? It was totally different than what it could have been interpreted as. So he turned that whole shit around. Energy is that way. Energy is transferable, transformable. Dude probably, he probably didn't even realize he was doing that. He probably was like, damn, I want to say what's up to the nigga, but, you know, he probably don't want to say what's up. He probably going to be unapproachable. And then it moves toward, because of your ego and somebody's insecurity, they'll be like, man, fuck that nigga. Because they created the whole scenario without even investigating, without, you know, finding proof positive what it really was. And that's something that I think about often with that, you know, that you could turn all of that shit around. You realize that, nah, you know, the old song, what's that group, New Birth? It's a thin line between love and hate. You know, love and hate is really the same thing. It's really the same thing. It's just the two different sides of the poles, the polarity.